What's up, guys? So I just wanted this to be a quick little video. I was just looking at this. I haven't actually watched the replay yet. I'm just sitting here kind of looking at your draft. And already I can kind of see that this game might be a little problematic. I haven't watched it yet, but just in terms of how the drafts have gone, I'm not sure what order people have drafted in or anything like that. I wasn't there for the draft, but what I do see is we're in a bit of a situation where these guys have a really early game snowball and you guys come online really late game, which is fine, except that you're lacking one of the key ingredients to make that work, right? You need to actually be able to get to the late game as quickly as possible. And in order to do that, you need really good wave clear, which this team is wholly lacking in. So we're in a situation here where, you know, this team is going to look for picks, right? Like their whole shtick is this early game, get picks on the enemy team, so we can take control of the map, we can get an experience lead, and we can siege up on their towers because we have Zarya, right? So we can push these towers really hard. And you guys come online much later on, right? So these guys, from the very beginning, they have their heroic ability on Tracer. They have some heroes that don't necessarily get the biggest benefits from talents. Not to say they don't benefit from talents, but, some heroes, they just naturally benefit from talents more than others, right? And Varian is one of those heroes, level 10. So essentially what we're looking at here is we're going to be put in this situation where we're going to have this 4-man against a team that has better sieging capabilities than us. And we're in a situation where we can't clear waves effectively enough. So we can't, when we're running this late game comp against this pick comp, what we want to be doing is we want to put them in a situation where they have to kind of decide, okay, so the enemy team has cleared the wave faster than us. We need to finish clearing this wave. You guys are already rotating down. So these guys have to decide, okay, do we split off from the team and try and get a pick on rotations, which is generally a bad idea when you guys are as 5 and they're not, right? Or do we stay together and we finish clearing the wave and we give up our opportunity to try and get picks and snowball early on? But when you lack sufficient wave clear, like you do here, you're in a situation where these guys can actually start clearing waves faster than you. Or even if they clear waves at the same time, you're in this position where you're both going to be rotating at the same time, or these guys have an advantage and they can take time to try and pick you off. And you're giving them their win condition by doing that. You're giving them the win condition of having time to pick you guys off on rotation, having time to pick you guys off in lane, deal damage to you in lane. And you guys can't fulfill your win condition if they fulfill theirs, because theirs is to snowball early on. And you can't come back from that even when you hit your late game team spikes, because you might just not get there, right? So when you're drafting a team like this that comes online a lot later, like, heroes like level 16, they're coming online, or even like a hero that's not really a full hero until level 10, you really need to think about how do we plan to get to that late game, right? How do we plan to stay even? How do we plan to prevent them from just snowballing early game? And you just really need some really good ranged clear here. And Greymane has great wave clear. He's the only one on your team that has really good wave clear, assuming that they're not standing in waves for Medivh to spam whatever. But anyways, this is your best wave clear here. And one of the problems is that his wave clear is great because he can cocktail a wave and then he can dive on it in wolf form. And then just clear the wave. But he doesn't have the luxury of doing that here because we're in a situation where we have 2 squishies and we need to save his wolf form to chunk these guys out if they step out of position. Like, we need the threat of his wolf form to scare these guys from stepping out of position. And if he's wolf form in the wave, then Tracer and Genji are just free to come over here, try and pick off whoever they want. So I would have really liked to see this Medivh be something with better wave clear. I mean, you could, or a tank maybe with better wave clear or something along those lines. I know you probably maybe been experimenting with the Medivh and the Lucio combination. I'm not really sure. But one of the things that I don't necessarily agree with here, like I see you're maybe trying to, against Pulse Bomb, against Dragon Blade, whatever you have Medivh, but both of these characters enable mobility, right? Both of these heroes are designed to enable mobility. And you have a situation where, first of all, this is redundant because, I mean, you don't necessarily need 2 heroes to enable mobility. And second of all, you have fairly mobile heroes, right? So these are, Greymane's pretty mobile, Tyrael's very mobile. Sure, Varian might not be that mobile, but he's extremely tanky, so that kind of helps make up for it, right? So when you have 2 heroes that are enabling mobility, that can kind of be overkill, especially when you've sacrificed something that counters their win condition in order to get them. So this was just a little video. I wanted to kind of talk about what your plan is when you're drafting, and even if a hero seems like it might be really good to counter, you know, a Dragon Blade, or, you know, get people out of a slow with a portal or something like that. Again, it becomes kind of redundant. So you might want to only pick one of these heroes, and this might have been better off as a Rhaegar, right? Or, you know, this might have been better off as something with Wave Clear. Like, just thinking about what the enemy team is trying to do and how, you know, you look at this as an early game team comp. How is the early game actually going to play out? What's their plan in the early game as this early game team comp? And that's exactly what it is to come and try and pick you off on rotations. They can't really do that if you guys clear the wave faster than them, right? Then you start getting ahead in XP because their wave clear is not phenomenal as it is. Like, it's better than yours, but I mean, it's not the most stellar thing on the planet. So if you guys have wave clear to clear faster than them, you're going to start being able to either get ahead or at least keep up, right? So that they can't fulfill their win condition. So yeah, this was just a little video to try and think about drafting a little bit. Sorry again if it's a little redundant, but let me know what you guys think. Just a few of my thoughts on this particular game.